First class, we have discussed about Hana flow. In today's class, we are going to discuss about Rayleigh flow. So the basic difference between Hana flow and the Rayleigh flow is that flow is experiencing some acceleration, that is irreversible acceleration, and the flow experiences some irreversible deceleration, depend upon friction factor and heat transfer rate. Depend upon friction factor and heat transfer rate. So in an ideal flow where there is no friction at all, okay, we are experiencing the same discharge and the same level of flow at the exit. Okay, if we have the inlet flow of Mach number as 0.2, we have the exit flow of Mach number as 0.2, right? But here in Hana flow, due to friction, the inlet Mach number is 0.2, but due to friction, the outlet Mach number becomes 0.3. So the Mach number is getting increased for Hana flow. Similarly, for Rayleigh flow, for the same Mach number of 0.2, you are going to heat the flow. You are going to heat the pipe. The pipe is getting heated on the outer side, where the heat experiences the enthalpy and the entropy of the system is getting increased, and then the Mach number is increased at the exit, right? So this is the system, right? The system of differences between an ordinary flow, that is inviscid flow, and then Hana flow, and then Rayleigh flow, right? In today's class, we are going to discuss about Rayleigh flow, right? So let us see in detail. So we have discussed about flow in constant aerator with the heat transfer, right? That is Rayleigh line. So what is meant by Rayleigh line, right? And so we have temperature enthalpy diagram or enthalpy entropy diagram on the left hand side, and pressure and specific volume diagram on the right hand side. Right? So what is meant by Rayleigh flow and the Rayleigh line? So generally, when the flow is getting heated, that is, we are having a constant aerator, right, like this. So in this constant aerator, you are just heating this. You are just adding some heat into it, right, on the surroundings. So when you add heat into it, okay, what happens? We have the normal flow in the initial pipe. Okay, the normal flow of Mach number is set to be 0.3. Now at the exit, what is the Mach? So at the exit, the Mach number is about 0.6. So what happens to the flow? So when the flow at a slow speeds are getting heated up, then the flow particles getting that is the gases or an air which is carried inside this constant area type. Okay, it experiences high amount of heat where the enthalpy of the system is getting increased. That is, the flowing substance is air or gas. The air is getting energized. When the air is getting energized, then automatically it experiences irreversible acceleration. So what is happening? Irreversible acceleration. Right? So during this time, what happens? The enthalpy is increasing and the entropy is also increasing. Right? Now, for the same pipe, right, suppose I'm considering here, for this same pipe, the inlet flow is said to be Mach number of about 1.4, right? And then in the same thing, you are just adding the heat from the surroundings, right? So when you added some heat on the surroundings, what happens to the exit? Okay, So this exit Mach number is about about 0.8. So here Mach number decreases. So what this is called? This is called the irreversible deceleration. Right? So this is the basic difference between irreversible acceleration and irreversible deceleration, right? So the thing is, this is the fact, right? We have discussed about Banach flow, the fact behind the Rayleigh flow, okay? Irreversible acceleration, irreversible deceleration, same like the condition, but here enthalpy is going to increase. That is, the temperature of the system is going to increase. So here is also you are adding heat. What happens? So enthalpy increases as well as temperature is also increases. And what happens to the point? So we are considering in the left hand side. Okay, we have the diagram. So your temperature or enthalpy. You are considering state 1 to 2. Okay, so this state 1 to 2 is nothing but we are having the subsonic. So the flow experiences subsonic. But in this subsonic flow, the Mach number is getting increased up to 0.3. Mach number is always increasing up to 0.3. And in point R, the Mach number is above m is equal to 1. So this is this maximum entropy point, and then Mach number is said to be 1, and then temperature is said to be critical temperature, pressure is said to be the critical pressure. So when Mach number is 1, then it is said to be the critical Mach number, and this is said to be the critical point. And this point is said to be as maximum entropy point. Right? So what happens in between E and R? So maximum E is nothing but maximum enthalpy point. Maximum enthalpy point. And then R is nothing but maximum entropy point. So in between E to R, there is a temperature drop. Right? There is a temperature drop or enthalpy drop. So in this, what happens? So when enthalpy drop occurs, what happens? So this is the question, right? So the temperature suddenly drops when it reaches the Mach number, right? So this is the state that represents that theory. You are going to heat the air at an extent, okay, and it reaches the maximum temperature, and there is a temperature drop in. So this is nothing but we have the formation of vapor formation, right? The flow of air and it is going to the critical maximum. So during the time, what happens? We have the droplet will be formed. So droplet formation is so you can watch many details in the video, in YouTube video. In one of my YouTube video, that is wind tunnel techniques, in wind tunnel testing. Okay, I had explained about supersonic wind tunnel. So that I have explained about the droplet formation. So when you are releasing the supersonic tunnel, the high pressure storage from a high pressure storage tank, media pressure regulator, and then you are opening the pressure regulator. So when you are opening the pressure regulator and when you release it for a long, that is after the flow, we have the free flow, and then your Mach number is supposed to be decreasing with respect to the flow friction, and then the amount of pressure which is stored inside the storage tank, where the stagnation temperature is at maximum and the stagnation pressure is also maximum, right? So when you suddenly release, so during that time, what happens? The droplet. So in order to avoid that droplet problem, okay, what we have to do, you are not going to operate the interview for a long time, right? So some information is presented in the video. You can go and read that, right? That is the practical experience of droplet formation, right? But here the fact is, on heating, what happens? So the direction represents from 1 to 2 in this side is nothing but heating, right? So during heating, what happens? This temperature enthalpy drop, and the entropy both are increasing. While on heating, okay, this is for your subsonic, supersonic. The same state 1 to 2 is supersonic. Here it is subsonic. Okay, so Mach number greater than 1 is supersonic. So for this supersonic stage, for the same 1 to 2, your Mach number decreasing and it ends at critical point m is equal to 1. Right? On cooling, what happens? So on cooling, in supersonic flow, Mach number increases. Right? And on cooling, for subsonic flow, Mach number decreases. So this is the difference between addition of heating or cooling. Right? Next, in your right hand side, you are having some line, that is Rayleigh line. So we are having Rayleigh curve on the left hand side. Now we have plotted Rayleigh line. That is nothing but Rayleigh line is nothing but pressure visits specific volume. So how we are getting this equation is it's very simple that you know the equation, that is P plus rho C square is equal to constant, right? So this equation is nothing but your momentum equation, right? So using this momentum equation, okay, what I am going to do is I am going to replace this value of C, okay, using rho C is equal to m dot by E, and this rho C is given as G, right? I think you know what is C, right? Mass flow rate per unit area. Mass flow rate per unit area. Okay, so this is said to be as mass density. Okay, mass flow rate per unit area is nothing but mass density, and this is a constant value. Now, from this equation, we can make it as C is equal to G by rho, right? C is equal to G by rho. Now, substitute this value in this equation, right? So, P plus rho. So, instead of C square, G by rho is there. So, here, whole square, rho square, we are substituting is equal to constant, right? And then rho and the rho is getting cancelled. And what we get finally? So, P plus, what is 1 by rho? 1 by rho is V, specific volume. 1 by rho is V, G square is equal to constant, right? What it's look like? It's look like the equation of straight line, right? We can find the slope also. So what is your P? Equation finally, so P into V, G square is equal to constant. Okay. So in this, we may differentiate it. So dP plus dV, G square is equal to 0. Okay. So what we get? dP is equal to minus dV T square. Okay. And then dP by dV is equal to minus of T square. What is this? The slope is said to be constant. So this dP minus dV, the slope is recorded as minus of G square. So it's completely dependent on square of the mass density. Right? And this represents, this straight line represents, Rayleigh line represents this equation of straight line. So P plus Vg square constant. So do you know that equation of straight line? That is y is equal to mx plus c. Similarly, we can write this equation as what? We write this equation as P is equal to minus V T square plus C. So this minus V G square. What is minus G square? That is nothing but slope. Yeah. So this is nothing but M. Okay. So we are getting this equation with a negative slope, where the line starting from negative r, right? And then we are getting this equation. Okay, so using this equation only, this plot has been drawn. So the graph between P and V, specific volume, right? I think you understand this step, right? So we are experiencing the critical flow, that is m star is equal to 1. So from subsonic to supersonic flow, you are heating. and the flow becomes critical and it ends up to that point. And then while again on heating, what happens? It experiences supersonic flow. But the thing is, you have to cool it. When critical flow occurs, we have the droplet formation so that it does not increase beyond it. Okay. And then we need to cool down it. So when you cooling it, so on the time, what happens? So when you cool it on the time, your Mach number increases. And on heating, Mach number decreases. Right? So this line represents the attitude of Rayleigh, right? With respect to critical flow, right? And this R is nothing but maximum entropy, right? S2 max, where it intersects the straight line, and that is called the maximum entropy. So we are maintaining constant entropy where Rayleigh line won't form, and then we have the other minimum level of entropy line. Here is also the Rayleigh line is not only on maximum entropy. Okay. Maximum entropy line, the curve has been Rayleigh line, right? So this is nothing but Rayleigh. Next, we are going to see about the same thing, but here the curve is same Rayleigh line, but here we are going to discuss about maximum enthalpy point, E, right? Maximum enthalpy point. Right? So in this, what we are going to discuss is, we are having the slope. We had already find the slope, right? dp by dv is equal to minus of g square, right? And then I am going to write the another slope value like dp by dv is equal to minus of t by v. So from this picture, right? Sir, can you place the previous? Yes, sure. So Malis, yes, you can take it. Right. Okay. Now we are going for dp by dv same is minus of p by v. Okay. Yes, thank you, Manish. And then dp by dv is nothing but minus of p by v. Just I am stating that it is having some constant pressure and it is having some constant specific volume, and I am writing this expression like this, right? And now what I am going to do is I have to replace this formula using the speed of sound formula. Right? It's very simple that how we are going to write the formula as speed of sound. What is your speed of sound? A is equal to root of gamma p by a. Okay, everybody know this formula, right? And we can replace this formula as a square is equal to gamma p by a. And then from this, what is p? P is equal to a square rho by, that is a square rho by top, right? That is p. So we can increase this constant pressure and then we can replace this time. We take it as equation 1 and you substitute this p value. So what is your dp by dv? So 1 implies what? So we have minus of a square rho by gamma, and then we have specific volume, right? And this specific volume, what is 1 by v? 1 by v is rho, right? So minus of a square rho square. Okay, minus of a square rho square divided by r, right? So this is the final expression we are getting from this dp by. But in previous expression, we are having minus of g square, right? According to previous expression, okay, dp by dv, but dP by dV is also minus of G square. What is G? G is nothing but rho square. So rho square C square, correct? Now you are going to convert this C square in terms of Mach number, right? Because we need to estimate the Mach number of this, right? So in order to estimate it, okay, minus of rho square and this C square is replaced by M square and A square. That is flow speed is equal to max speed multiplied by some speed, right? Now we are going to equate these two equations. So what will be your dP by dV? This is your equation 2. So under equilibrium, under maximum enthalpy point, equation number 1 is equal to equation number 2. So what we get? So minus of A square rho square divided by gamma is equal to minus of rho square M square A square. Okay. So this minus is getting cancelled. Rho square is getting cancelled. A square getting cancelled. Finally, we have M square is equal to 1 by gamma. And then what is your M? M is 1 divided by root of gamma. Right? So M is equal to root of 1 by gamma. 1 by root of gamma. It's nothing but that is the point. E. That point is called as E. That is maximum enthalpy. Right? So after this, what happens? So what is the value? Can anyone tell me the value for air? Suppose we are considering air inside the constant area duct. Okay. So 1 divided by root of 1.4. What is the value now? What is 1 by root of 1 by 4? Students, you can post me in the chat box. Yeah, 0.845. Very good, Uday. It was 0.0.845. So the thing is, at this point, the Mach number is about 0.84. So after 0.845, what happens? Right? Enthalpy decreases, temperature decreases, but the entropy, that is entropy. Entropy means S, right? So entropy increases. So this is system, right? And then it reaches the Mach number of critical Mach number M is equal to 1. That is, it reaches the maximum entropy. And then the another question is, what happens if the Mach number is less than 0.845? Okay, so less than 0.845, enthalpy of the state increases, temperature of the state increases, and the entropy of the state is again increasing. So less than Mach number 0.845, your enthalpy, your temperature, and entropy all are increasing. So this is the behavior. This is the flow behavior with respect to maximum enthalpy. So when the value represents here is nothing but you are having the quantity and you are heating that quantity. So on the time, how the flow behaves. The flow in a quantity is taken and it's get entered into the heated duct. So when it is entering into the heated duct, the flow is getting accelerated. It's a simple case. But when you are accelerating and supersonic speeds, the deceleration happens. That is the point. So with respect to temperature, so as the temperature or enthalpy drop, so due to this temperature drop and the enthalpy drop, what happens? Okay, we have the droplet formation, and up to M is equal to 1, it enters. And it does not Mach number more than 1. Okay, so this is the fact behind the Rayleigh flow. Right? Now we are going to solve Rayleigh flow equation with the help of some basic equations. Right? Yes. Yes, Uday Kumar. Yes. What's your doubt?
Sir, for M greater than 0.845, temperature and enthalpy is decreasing. Why is entropy increasing, sir?
Entropy of the state. So entropy is a case that due to droplet formation. It is only with respect to droplet formation, right?
Generally, if the temperature increases, entropy also increases, no?
Yeah, that is a fact. But here we have the process called irreversible, right? Irreversible process. The process is not an reversible process; it is an irreversible process. So here we have the entropy of the state. Okay, the entropy of the state is finally increasing, but the enthalpy is decreasing only at this region. Okay, because of droplet formation. So when in subsonic flow, when you are heating the duct, it experiences irreversible acceleration immediately. So during that irreversible acceleration, what happens? Dews will be formed, like dew-like substances. So that vaporized matter or vaporized content or dew formation, what happens? The entropy of the state remains as it is, but the thing is, enthalpy drops. Okay. Right? Could you understood, Kumar? Okay.
Yes,
Thank you. Right. Okay. So this is the thing, right? Dews or droplet formation. Dews or droplet formation is that we can check them. Okay. Simply we have a pipe, and then we can uniformly heat the pipe, and then we can send any kind of air into it. So during the time you can take the thermocol substances, right? Only a bubble thermocol balls, and then you just send it, or any lightweight substances. Okay, so when you heat a glass, like a glass duct, okay, when you heat the glass duct and you are sending the thermocol balls into it. So during the time we are having sudden experience of uh, thermocol balls, which is leaving the pipe, right? So this is nothing but Rayleigh flow, right? Next we will see the much detail Rayleigh flow equations. Okay, so for simplifying Rayleigh flow equation, we are considering a control volume. So in this control volume, left hand side properties are pressure, Mach number, velocity, T1, T0. And in your right hand side, we have pressure, Mach number, velocity, temperature, and the stagnation temperature. The difference between the fan flow and Rayleigh flow is that here heat is added. We are adding some heat, and here we are not talking about pressure. Only heat is getting added. So, what are the basic equations needed for simplifying this Rayleigh flow equation? So, first is we need continuity equation. The second one, we need momentum equation. And the third one, we need energy equation. And the fourth one, we need equation of state. Okay. And then fifth one. So after finding equation of state, fifth one, we need maximum. Right? So if we know all these relations, okay, if we know all these flow equations, okay, we can simplify the flow properties with the help of these 5 equations, right? So it's very simple that we could be able to follow these equation of states like this, right? First one is continuity equation. So as per that, what is your continuity equation? Continuity equation represents mass flow rate is said to be constant. M dot is equal to constant, right? Okay, so here, what is M dot? M dot is nothing but rho A C. is equal to constant, right? But here in this control value, what we are having in our left hand side, we have rho 1, area is constant area, and the C1 is equal to, as per continuity, on your right hand side, the discharge will be same. That is m dot 1 is equal to m dot 2 is equal to constant. So as per that, rho 2 A C2 is again constant. And this A and the A is getting cancelled. And finally, what we get, rho 2 by rho 1 is equal to C1 by C2. Okay, so this is your continuity equation, right? And then second one, we are going to use momentum equation. So what is your momentum equation in general? It was P plus rho C square is equal to constant, right? And we can write this relation using this control volume approach. So it was P1 plus rho 1 C1 square is equal to P2 plus rho 2 C2 square. Okay, so by this control volume, we are writing this. And then you can also use this relation. This what is rho C square in terms of maximum. So we can in terms of rho m square and then a square. Okay, and this a square is nothing but we can use m square. A square is nothing but gamma p by rho. In this rho is getting cancelled. We have gamma p m square. Okay, so we can replace this rho 1 c1 square as p1 plus gamma p1 m1 square is equal to p2 plus gamma p2 m2 square, right? And then followingly, what we have, so I'm taking p1 common output, 1 plus gamma m1 square is equal to p2 times of 1 plus gamma m2 square. Okay, so this is set to be your momentum equation for the dynamic flow, right? And then finally, we are going for energy equation. Right? So in this energy equation, you are supplying the heat, right? So you are going to care only about Q. So this Q is nothing but Cp times T02 minus T01. So as per control volume approach, the amount of heat added is nothing but Cp times T02 minus T01, right? That is enthalpy drop. H02 minus H01 is nothing but stagnation enthalpy drop. That is amount of heat supply. So it's very simple that we can write the energy equation in simple condition. And then what for Rayleigh equation, what is the relation we are going to use is, so Q by Cp, right? Q by Cp, and you are bringing this Cp term, and then you are bringing out this T01 term outside, and it becomes T02 by T minus 1, because we are going to relate all the things with Mach number of the flow, so that we are making this relation in simplified form, as you are turning all the temperature as temperature ratios, right? And then again you are going to divide this term by T1. Okay, so initial temperature of the flow T1. So you are going to divide it, and then we are finally getting this expression, and this is nothing but your heat transfer equation. So that is your energy equation. And then we are going for equation of state. Next is fourth one, equation of state. So what is your equation of state? It was always P is equal to rho R, right? And you are considering P1 is equal to rho 1 or P1 on the initial case, and then the final case is P2 is equal to rho 2 or P2, right? Now you are dividing these two equations as P2 by P1 equal to rho 2 by rho 1 to P2 by, right? So this is the equation of state representation, and we are following this equation of state representation for finding the flow variables of Rayleigh flow equation. Let this be equation 2, right? And then finally we have Mach number. So fifth one we are having Mach number. Right? So what is your Mach number? M is equal to C by U. Right? So this C by A can be replaced as C by root of gamma R2. Right? So we will write this M1 as C1 divided by root of gamma R P1, and then the flow at exit M2 as C2 divided by root of gamma R P2, right? And then let me write this expression as M2 by M1. Okay, so M2 divided by M1. So as per this, root of gamma RP2, okay, divided by C1 by root of gamma RP1, right? So this gamma R is getting cancelled. Only rho by P2 and the P1 is there, right? So the denominator and the numerator, the function changes. So what we get? We get C2 by C1, right? And then root of P1 by, right? So this is your Mach number equation. So for Rayleigh flow, okay, we are considering 5 different equations, and we are going to find variation of flow parameters with respect to Rayleigh flow. Okay, now variation of flow properties in Rayleigh flow has been found by using equation number 2. So first we are going to find pressure ratio. So how much is the pressure is varying across the Rayleigh flow? First one, we are finding the pressure ratio. So pressure ratio is P2 by P1. Okay, so how we are going to find this P2 by P1 is, we are going with equation number 2, right? And you are rearranging this equation. Just bring this P1 to this side and bring this term to the other side. Okay, swiping. Okay, I'm doing swiping. What we get? P2 by P1 equal to, right? So from equation 2, and then 1 plus gamma M1 square divided by 1 plus gamma M2 square. Okay, this is the pressure ratio of the Rayleigh flow. Next thing, we are going to find temperature ratio. So your temperature ratio is nothing but T2 by T1. Now, how we are going to find this temperature ratio means, we are going to use these two relations. So equation number 4 and equation number 5, right? So and then we have equation number 1 also. So we are going to consider equation number 1, equation number 4 and equation number 5. So let us write the equation number 1 first. So equation number 1 implies rho 2 by rho 1 is equal to C1 by C2. And then what is C1 by C2 means? Right? What is C2 by C1? We can find the value of C2 by C1 from equation 4. Okay, so what is your equation 5 implies? So M2 by M1 equal to C2 by C1 root of C1 by 2. Okay, we know this equation, and C1 by C2 becomes, so just swipe it. Okay, C1 by C2 becomes M1 by M2 root of C1 by 2, right? And what is this C1 by C2? This same C1 by C2 is nothing but rho 2 by rho. Okay, now with the help of equation number 4, okay, what is your equation number 4? P2 by P1 equal to rho 2 by rho 1 into P2 by P1, right? So this is the equation. You just substitute the rho 2 by rho 1 value, right? Just substitute this rho 2 by rho 1 value here. Now what it is? So C1 M1 by M2 root of P1 by P2, and again P2 by P1 is there, right? So what is this? So root of P1 becomes here root of P2. Root P2 becomes root of P2. Right, finally square root of P2 by P1 is equal to P2 by P1 into M2 by, okay. So what will be next? So I'm squaring on both sides. Squaring on both sides. And squaring what we get? P2 by P1 is equal to P2 by P1 whole square, then M2 by M1. Okay, so what is P2 by P1? You know it. So P2 by P1 is equal to M2 square by M1 square, okay, into 1 plus gamma M1 square whole square divided by 2 plus gamma M2 square. So this is our temperature ratio, right? So finally we had estimated temperature ratio. Similarly, we can also estimate for stagnation pressure ratio. Okay, so we had find the pressure ratio and the temperature ratio, and then we are going to find stagnation pressure ratio, or else we can also use this relation, right? So what is it? So this is your rho 2 by rho 1 relation. Okay. So velocity relation. So it is nothing but a square root of P1 by P2, right? We can use the same relation where we can find the value of density ratio and the velocity ratio. So what is your density ratio? Next is third one. We are going to find density ratio or velocity ratio. Right? So using this term, rho 2 by rho 1 equal to C1 by C2 equal to M1 by M2. So which is nothing but from equation number 5, square root of T1 by T2. You know T2 by T1, you just substitute this T2 by T1 here. So rho 2 by rho 1 or C1 by C2. It becomes what? M1 by M2, and then you are substituting this value as M1 by M2, that is square root. On taking square root, we have only, and then 1 plus gamma M2 square divided by 1 plus gamma M1 square. Okay, yes, it is 1 by T2 by T1. Okay. So 5T numerator and the denominator. So finally what we get? M1 square by M2 square 1 plus gamma M2 square into 1 plus gamma M1 square. Okay. So this is your autopilot over P1 by C2. Right? So this is the density ratio or velocity ratio relation. So it is very simple that students, you may found all these relations in the gas table book itself. But the thing is, you didn't know how these relations have been coming. The thing is, you have got question from this relation that how this particular density ratio and the velocity ratio is coming. Okay, or you have to prove it, or you have to justify it. You got 2 more questions, you got 8 more question and a 16 more question as well, right? So we need all these statements and how these statements are. And next thing, we have density ratio, velocity ratio. Finally, not finally. Okay, still we are going to derive the another relation as fourth one, stagnation pressure ratio. So stagnation pressure ratio relation is P02 by P02. So P02 by P01 is nothing but P02 by P2 into P2, and you are reiterating this expression of P01 by P1 into P1. So it is nothing but what is P0 by P relation? We may use this P0 by P relation. That is 1 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 M2 square. Here 1 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 M1 square. And then following P2 by P1 relation. So what is your P2 by P1? 1 plus gamma M1 square divided by 1 plus gamma M2 square. Yes. Your voice is not audible to me. There is no others were not reporting that. Only Manikumar is having some audio issues. So better you can change your mic or earphone. Okay, that's the thing. And then finally we have stagnation pressure ratio. Similarly, we can also write it for stagnation temperature ratio. That is 2. So stagnation temperature ratio. It was nothing but P02 by P0. Okay. So P02 by P01 is equal to. So you are writing how you are writing the pressure term in the same manner. You are writing the expression for stagnation temperature ratio also. So P01 by T1 into T1. Just uniting these ratios in terms of you are driving these ratios, and then what is P02 by P0? T2 was 1 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 M2 square, and in the denominator 1 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 M1 square, and then what is your T2 by T1? Right? So your T2 by T1 relation is this. So M2 square by M1 square. So it was M2 square by M1 square, and then 1 plus gamma M1 square whole square divided by 1 plus gamma M2 square whole square. So this is your stagnation temperature relation.